It's 8121 Talk, Season 5, Episode 1, and we are back. It's been a while.
It's been a while since
It's been a while. Oh, it has been a while
right?
Since I've been on, because you've been doing your one-on-one.
One-on-one. 81, 21, on one. Right.
Yeah,
right.
I can't say it.
I can't say it either.
81, 21 on 1. There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
We're here.
I'm here.
It's been 5 seasons.
You here?
I'm here.
It's a new year.
It's a new year.
We still here?
We're still here.
Yes.
We're still here. But to start this season 5 off, so to speak, you know, I know how things go. So let me say this at the top. We made a lot of podcasts, and I know people probably listen to the first 2 minutes of it and get out of there. I implore you to listen to it all the way through.
All the way through.
Because what you won't get here is shock. What do they call it? Shock value? You know, when people say stuff just to get people to listen.
Clickbait.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
You won't get that.
You won't get no clickbait.
You won't get the thumbnails where we're asking this weird question and there's nothing in the podcast about it. I can't stand it.
Right.
I can't stand it. And you won't get gossip.
No.
But what you will get is real talk. As honest as we can make it.
Right.
Without, I have to say it like this, without shitting on somebody.
Right.
It's all about us.
It's about our truth.
And I don't know if people remember when we talked about before that a lot of times these podcasts it's like a diary, it's like a memoir, and your kids can have it.
Right.
Even our kids might not appreciate it right now.
Right. But they will.
They will when they can sit back and listen to it and go, oh, like I said before, ooh, they can say, oh, that's what Mama was talking about. Right. So, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get it started.
It's Al and Elondia. It's got to be more careful.
So, 8121 Talk, we're back. And I figured I want to start this season with a story.
Okay.
Because I've been, you know, you get to that point where you examine your life. Why do you do things? Why do you act the way you act?
Right.
And I told you that one day, I think I pinpointed why I am like I am.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, come on.
So
let's tell America about it.
In my situation, this has everything to do with patience. It has
the lack of patience, or having too much patience.
Too much is a great way to look at it, because sometimes you can wait, and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
And you are, that's not good. That's not good.
Right.
Patience. And that's great that you just said that, because there's patience, right? And then there's knowing when to go, wait a minute, this ain't working.
Right.
On to the next.
Yeah.
But in my life, I've always displayed too much patience.
And is that patience with people, situations, or both? Everything.
Okay. Patience. So what I say is not meant to hurt, but it's just the truth. Right.
It's, boy, sometimes that's the thing about telling your truth. When you tell your truth, other people, and then we said this before, when you speak your truth, other people might take it the wrong way and feel like you're dogging them or talking about them or what have you. But if it's your truth, it's your truth. And the part that they played in it, hey.
I struggle with that. And we were talking about that before we recorded. Sometimes I feel like by saying my truth, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
Exactly.
But like you just said, it's my truth. I have to say what I have to say.
It is what it is.
You know, I wish my mother was here.
Yeah.
But I don't wish she was here, because if my mother was here, she would get a chance to hear what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. But the flip side, she'll be, Abbott Jr., I don't want to hear all that. Mm-hmm. It happened, because I don't think she realizes how the moment affected me.
Right.
So my dad, I don't remember what age I was. I just know that my great grandmother was still alive, and she passed away in 75. We're in the second grade. Me and you the same age.
So we had to be 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Depending on what time of the year it was.
So I had to be in the first grade, or maybe the end of kindergarten. I'm not sure. I know my great grandmother was alive and not showing any problems of being sick. And that happened in the second grade. So it was before that. If that makes sense.
A long time before that? A while?
That's where it gets tricky.
Okay. So we're looking at 6 or 7, somewhere along there.
We talking about, I want to go 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Okay.
We talking about over 50 years ago.
Wow.
50.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
So this was a thing. I'm at home. Mm-hmm. And as you know, I lived on First Avenue. That's where I lived my entire childhood.
Right.
And my dad reached out to me and said he wanted to take me somewhere the next day.
Right.
Am I saying that right? The next day.
Yeah.
As I thought about it, I knew that he played golf. I knew that he played sports. So it's been over 50 years, but I don't quite remember what it was for. But whatever it was for, I'm down.
Right. You were excited.
This is Albert Southall Sr.
Right.
I thought he was Superman. Okay. That night, my mother asked me, "Are you sure?" As much as she could say without
coming out and say, "Don't get your hopes up."
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember all of certain details. I remember like it was yesterday. But she just kind of like, "Are you sure?" Because I'm going to work in the morning. At the time, my mother worked at Good Samaritan Hospital. She was a nurse. And she was like, "I'm going to work in the morning." Right. It wasn't school time. It was in the summer.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all she said to me. Boosie, I couldn't sleep. I'm going somewhere with my dad. At the time, I was tripping out on my dad had a full beard. I wanted one of those.
Right.
Right. I was just excited. My great grandmother, Grandma Lizzie, as I told you at the time, was like my best friend. Because you got to remember, if I'm 5 or 6, my mother's 25 or 26. She's still young doing her thing.
Right.
My great grandmother didn't really say much.
Right.
She just chilled. So move on. The next morning, I get up. My mother has to be at work at 7. I think it's a 7 to 3 shift.
Okay.
And she questioned me again. "Are you sure?" Boosie, I didn't eat breakfast. My usual shows that I would watch in the morning.
You didn't watch those?
No, sir. The Captain Kangaroo. Nope. I went straight to that porch.
Right.
That by the time my mother came out to leave, to be at work by 7.
You was already out there?
I was already out there. And 74 was outside. You know what 74 is?
Yeah.
Right? East Side Cab.
East Side Cab.
Because that's how she used to get to work.
Right.
And "Are you sure?" Yeah. All right. Now, I'm not leaving my door open. Right. Because my great grandmother, even though she got up early, I don't know what was going on that day, but she was still laying down. So my mother, I'm not leaving my door open. So if you jump in that car, right, make sure, this door is closed, or you let her know you're leaving. Right. Right. So, and it's weird because I've thought this through a million times, right? That was at 6 something in the morning. Let's fast forward. By 8 o'clock, my grandmother's asking me, "You want to eat?" My great grandmother. "You want to watch TV?" "No, I'm good. I'm going to sit right here." Now I ask you, Why you think I was doing that?
Because you was waiting on your dad.
But it's even more twisted.
Mm.
I felt that if I left the porch to use the bathroom,
That you would
eat,
miss
watch
him?
TV, he would show up
Didn't see you outside
and leave.
and leave.
So I wouldn't leave.
Right.
I gotta pee.
Right.
I'm hungry.
Right.
And I'm starting to lose hope.
Right.
Like I want to go inside. I think I ended up peeing on the side of the house where I could see the porch and the
Right.
porch. Is this pitiful?
I mean, it's not pitiful. It's a child excited about going to spend time with someone
And
their parent at that.
Right. And my great grandmother, I have to stress that, my great grandmother ended up pulling her rocking chair
Mm-hmm.
in the doorway so she can look through the screen door and watch me.
Right.
I'm sitting on the steps.
Right.
I mean, cars
coming by.
And
people walking by.
I'm like, oh, here you go, right here.
Every time a car came.
Nothing.
Right.
So how long you think this went on?
Okay, well, first of all, did he ever show up?
No.
So how long did you stay out there?
I stayed out there till my mom came home from work, which if they got up at 3, maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock.
So basically you was out there a whole work day.
Basically.
Mm.
And refused to leave. Refused to leave. And my mother, you know, I remember her looking at me like, and I'll try to sound like her right here, like, Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I wasn't sad. At first I was like, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe he said another day. Or maybe something happened.
Right.
And even when my mother, you know, tried to say little things, I got mad at her.
Right.
Is that weird?
No.
Yeah. That's basically what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why am I telling you this story? It was my first experience with my dad, one-on-one, where something you do is directly affecting me.
Right.
See, the relationship between him and my mother, I saw them fight before.
Right.
Before that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, like, sometimes I would wake up at in the wee hours of the morning, and he's in the bed with me and my mother. Mm-hmm. And this was, I know for sure this was kindergarten. Mm-hmm. But that really doesn't have anything to do with me.
Right.
This was the first time where something was said to me.
Mm-hmm.
I internalized it, and it didn't happen.
Right.
Okay. So I look at that situation because there's a lot of situations, well, that story I just gave you, there's a lot of things that happen in my life where I stayed too long.
And you think that's because you stayed waiting on him?
A friend of mine, Candy, she gave me a book a long time ago. And what I took from that book was, no matter how old you are, you're still that little kid sitting on the porch. Oh, yeah,
that little kid is still inside of you.
I'm still sitting on the porch waiting.
Right.
Just waiting. Just waiting. And I think that had an effect on my life, from marriages to relationships to friendships. I always give a little bit too much.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Did he ever say why he didn't show up that day?
Absolutely not. Now, you got to realize.
So that makes you think that, of course. Now, what did I do that he didn't come get me that day?
I went through that phase. Now, we talking about a 50-plus year lifespan.
Yeah.
Right? So I went through the phase of asking, what did you just say?
What did I do?
Right. I went through that phase. You know where I'm at right now?
What?
It's not a landmark or something that's pinpointed in his mind because it wasn't that important.
It wasn't that important to him.
Right. So I did ask. Not like, if you ask a person, it would be good to ask when it's still hot. I didn't. I may have been 30, 40 years old.
So you waited a long time before you asked.
Patience.
And by that time, he probably said, I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember doing that.
So basically, you didn't get no type of closure.
No. No. And, okay, but it is what it is, right? I've made mistakes in my life and done things I'm pretty sure somebody doesn't like. But I always thought that, I feel that if someone asks you something like that, you need to shut down that computer, meaning your brain, and go, now, what is he referring to?
Yeah, let me think about it.
That didn't happen.
Right.
I have to move on. Now, as far as how it affected me. You know, what I was saying a minute ago was I wait. Like people late, and I don't mean late like on time. Like you're supposed to be here at 4.
Right.
I mean, I'm waiting for them to come around mentally,
Right.
everything,
Right.
everything.
Yeah. Giving them the benefit of the doubt and be like, really trying to see the good in them and giving them a chance to show you the good.
But I am getting the living shit beat out of me when I
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I hold my tongue.
Right.
Because I don't want to ruin stuff.
Right.
It's like going back to that situation where I better not go pee.
Right.
Because if they come, they might say, oh, he's not here, and leave.
Right. And then you probably think sometimes that if I don't wait and let this person evolve or whatever, then you probably think that if something happens, then it's your fault.
It's my fault.
Because I didn't give them a chance to show me.
Right.
Or I didn't give them a chance to get there at that point where they needed to be.
And I know that somebody might be listening to this not able to understand what I'm saying, or because they're not wired the same way.
Or they might be saying, you know, I don't know why he think that he had out, you know, he can influence how somebody lives or thinks or what have you. Maybe you're putting too much on yourself. That's probably what they would say.
Well, here's the thing. What I pulled from that was when you are in a situation like that as a kid, you react the way you can react as a kid. Like you're not mature enough to really, but as time went on, it manifests in other ways. For instance, let's say if me and you was arguing, I see what needs to be said. I see what needs to be done. But because I want a positive outcome, I won't say anything.
Right.
And you just going down that path and saying stuff.
Right.
And I'm getting my ass whipped.
Right.
But I won't say anything because I'm waiting in comparison, like what I said with my dad, I'm waiting for you to pull up. We get in the car and go. But that's tough because every situation I've had that has worked out horribly is because I was waiting. Patience. I've had situations where people are talking to me like an idiot. And I'm sitting back patiently waiting. I've had situations where people are saying, I know I be talking crazy, but sometimes just shake me and let me know. Yeah, but I'm not wired like that. And why can't you do what you do?
Because I'm giving you the chance to get yourself together and come correct.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm patiently waiting.
Yeah.
But then what's saddening, and it still bothers me to this day, is when I go,
I'm done.
I got to worry about myself. Yeah,
now you're the bad guy.
I am the worst guy on the planet. Like, and I'm not disrespecting anyone, but how could you be around somebody for 20 years, 21 actually, and then when you decide I can't do this, right, and you leave, the 20 years gets broken down. It gets separated. Oh, that's not really 20. You ain't nothing. That's, is, you know, and that bothers you because that's 21 years. That's your whole military career.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be patient.
Right. And then at the end of it, you feel like you wasted your time. You wasted your time. You missed opportunities because you was trying to give someone the benefit of the doubt and wait for them to get on that level. Or I don't know if on that level is the word to say, but you was waiting for them to get, you said, pull up, get in the car with me.
You want to be treated fairly and stick to your word. The word that you gave in the beginning versus the word that they gave. You know, you want that, but it doesn't work like that. And it took me a long time to understand that. And I'll end all this by saying, and I hope what I'm saying is clear. My thing has always been patience. That little boy waiting on that porch. I've always been that boy. Within the past 4 or 5 months, I see things a little different. And I think it's because, I don't know what rapper said this, but I think I got more summers behind me than I
Then in
have.
front of you?
Yeah.
Of course.
So I examine each and every conversation, each and every moment, each tick on the clock. I you know, and I started seeing things like, okay, so if I am available, I'm good. But if I'm unavailable,
Right.
does that
Now they got a problem.
a problem?
Yeah. I mean, because people want to talk to you, not all people, some
Right.
people want to talk to you or be around you when it's beneficial to them.
Right.
So as long as you can do something for them when they need you to,
Right.
then that's cool. Oh yeah, that's my man, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as you say to them,
I'm busy.
Wait a minute, I got something to do, I'm gonna get back to you, or you don't answer that phone call or don't respond to a text message as quick as they want you to,
Whew.
now they got an attitude with you and want to say, oh, because you this, now you not this. But what about the times when you need someone to talk to, you need assistance with something,
Right.
you need a friendly word, a pick me up or whatever it may be, and they're not available.
Right.
But do you throw that up in their face?
I can't, because I'm not wired like that.
Right.
Right. I figure, like we were talking about before the mic,
Mm-hmm.
even our children, once you gave birth to them, they have a life.
They do.
And self-preservation within that life,
right,
is very important.
Yeah.
AKA, even your own flesh and blood is only gonna go so far with you, right? Because they have to function. They have to do it. And I get that.
Right.
Now, so nobody misconstrues it. We're not talking about favors, financial. No, we're talking about being an ear and a shoulder for somebody. You are there. It may help them start their day. It may help them complete their day. It may help them see light in a situation where it was darkness because you brought a positive outlook to it, or something simple. Even if it's, you'll be okay.
Isn't it crazy isn't it crazy how something that happened, like you said, 50 years ago shapes your life going forward?
Yeah.
And it takes a strong person, an honest person, to look themselves in the mirror or to look back on their life and try to figure out, you know what, this, as remember that Instagram or that TikTok we said, this is right here is where you got me effed up. But this, you say, this is right here, this is what changed everything, or this is what made me who I am, or the way I am today. This is the basis of it.
This is the basis,
the foundation.
That sitting on the porch is my basis. Like maybe down the line we'll get to one of your bases, but we started this season off with that. The basis, which in the future, at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, it made me look at everybody. It's no malice.
No malice.
It's just, I heard things along the way at the end of 2024, 2005, where I said, wow, the audacity. Oh, Al, you different ever since you got married. I don't even want to go into the layers of how crazy that sounds.
Right.
What's the purpose of marriage? What are you supposed to do?
You leave and cleave. I mean, just to cut it down, you leave and cleave.
Right.
Your wife, husband is your priority.
Right.
Does that mean that you cut people off? No, not necessarily. But you have to, those people who had priority before, they can't have priority now, because you have someone that you lay down with every night, you wake up with every morning, you discuss your fears, your joys, your dreams, and everything with, and you have to be there for that person if you want that person to be there for you.
Right.
So, and if someone really cares about you, they will understand that and be happy for you.
In a situation, if it's been expressed before that I can't share what's actually on my mind where I was at before, because they use it against me. Now I'm telling you I can.
Right.
Can you respect that?
Right.
Or there were certain situations where I had spoken to you about, I feel like personally calls me when things are going bad. We don't have to say names, but I spoke to you about that.
Right.
And if you go back and look at it, it wasn't just the end of 2024. I was already saying this leading up to it. And
like
it's
if you can't share your good times with me, why you want to share your bad
right,
time?
that's not working. So now it's like, dump everything on me. I feel this way. It's all sadness. For all you know, I could be sitting in the house having the greatest time on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you just call me with the nonsense.
Right.
Right? And I still patiently
listen
and waited for you to come out of that so we can get to what we get to. Going back to that story in the beginning.
Right.
Patiently waited. When people are in a jam, I think people will reach for the first life jacket they can find.
Or they reach for the life jacket that they know they can depend on.
Okay. But that's true. But for some people, it don't matter about depending. They just reaching for a life jacket.
Yeah, true.
Right. So there are other situations where I felt like, bruh, like fairly, I go back and I say, did you put as much effort into trying to know who I am, or were you just trying to find some way to vent? A few things happened at the end of the year. Definitely not going to get into that because if I say what I say, it's going to hurt feelings.
Right.
There I go again. See, I'm worried about somebody else.
But
feelings.
at the end of the day, you just have to protect your peace. I mean, you can't give to others if you don't have anything inside of you to give. If the tank is empty,
it's just
then
empty.
You can't give to anyone. So you have to take time to refill your tank.
Right. So let me end it with this so that the world can know, my children will know, whoever listens to this podcast will know. If you want to really get under my skin, there's 3 words you can use. Right? Would you like to guess what those words are?
No, I want you to tell me.
The lowest, from the least important one up. Punk. Can't stand it. Weak.
Okay.
But the one at the top is sensitive.
Oh yeah, sensitive. Especially when it's used in a derogatory way.
Well, I was told that, well, you have to understand the way I'm using it. I don't understand. And you coming out of your mouth saying it is not having respect for the 2 people sitting here. It's set it up. Preface it, set it up.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm going to take it derogatory.
Well, in
a derogatory way.
When I was in the Army and we did the, the sexual harassment training and everything, it's not, I'm going to perceive it the way I perceive it, right? It's your responsibility as a person saying it to make sure that I perceive it and receive it the way that you intended me to.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
So if you don't clarify it.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Set the stage properly.
Right.
Communication is a 2-way street.
Very much.
And you have to define and set boundaries before you get into all that stuff. But if you, especially if there's something attached to it, like a giggle or laugh. For instance, if you ask me something and I go, man, you sensitive, man. So I can't say what I want to say.
Right. And I'm going to be like, okay.
It's already haywire.
Yeah.
Should I say this? Yeah, I would say this. That story I gave you in the beginning, that story is attached to those words.
Exactly.
To the same person.
Right.
And within the last few weeks, I asked about those things, but since they were so far away, they didn't mean anything in his mind, like I said. And because I'm asking, but seriously, they are using it. Well, my dad used it as if I'm some sensitive little kid. I'm all right. See, if Mr. Johnson left me sitting on the porch, it probably wouldn't have affected me the same way.
Oh, no.
I know it wouldn't.
No.
But my question was, what's wrong with me trying to figure it out now? Like,
nothing.
What happened? Nothing.
There's nothing wrong with it.
But I can only get so far into the investigation if a word like sensitive pops up. Because now you mess with me. You fucking with my ego. You fucking with who I am. You feel me? So now it's like, oh, this is a challenge? This is what we doing? We can't get to it.
Right.
Right? Those 3 things. And it's ironic. We talking, man, I'm going to say I was about 5. We talking 50, well, in the next 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
We talking 50,
2 weeks, 3 weeks?
We talking 52 years ago.
Yeah.
Through every basketball event, through every baseball event as a kid, growing up, to moving to New York, to going to Buffalo State, leaving Buffalo State, going to the military and all that. If you're that person that puts out too much patience, you know how many times you're going to get messed over?
Oh, plenty of times.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did it to the point where I just felt like a loser. I watch people and go, wow, how can they shut somebody down and walk away and ain't worried about it? Because I didn't have that. Then you go through the phase of putting on the mask, acting like you don't care when you do. I went through all that. Right? To the point where, when you're dealing with stuff like that, it takes you down mentally, of course, but financially. It seems like everybody else, finger snaps like my mother, everybody else is moving and you sitting still. Right? Fortunately, because of you, when I get to the opportunity where I can sit there and go, oh, I was doing that all wrong. I was showing courtesy or whatever to people, benefit of the doubt, like you said earlier, when I didn't have to.
Right.
I didn't have to.
Right.
And it's not personal. Go back to the beginning. It's not personal. See, if I'm waiting on the porch, I'm so worried about not being there when he said he was coming that he's going to get mad at me.
Right.
It's not personal. I had to pee. I had to pee. I needed to stretch my back. I needed to go, because we ain't had Frosted Flakes then. I needed to go eat me some cornflakes with bananas in it.
Right. But I didn't.
I waited. And I ate that. I left feeling a certain type of way. And I felt that type of way to forge my personality, and I carried it for 50-something years.
Right.
Which we all have our burdens. What is it? Our cross to bear.
Our cross to bear.
That was mine. 8121 Talk. I almost said NFL Talk. 8121 Talk. I'm Abbott Jr.
I'm Elondius.
Elondius was a therapist today.
Okay. I've worn that hat before.
I guess we'll be coming back with another episode in probably a week or so. I want to get back into the audio thing heavily. That's always been something I liked. Audio.
You're saying audio and not video?
Well, we're going to do that.
Oh, okay.
But I think at the end, when we were doing NFL Talk, we didn't do any podcast.
We did not.
Right.
Well, you did, but I did not.
Right. So, I guess that's it.
That's it.
Check us out on the next episode. 8121talk.com. Right? Yeah, 8121talk.com. Or on YouTube is 8121 Media Group. Or you can catch snippets on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok if they still there.
Well, they there now.
They there now. And we'll be around.
Yeah.
Remember, no gossip.
No gossip.
We ain't doing that. No shock value stuff like that.
It's Alan and Lonnie. Got to be more careful.